Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for Syscon TV here at 8th Cloud Expo. That's Cloud Expo New York. I have with me Scott Morrison from Layer 7, our favorite CTO, and I'm telling you, he has launched something at this show, and we always like that. And what is it, Scott? This huge new thing that's only available at Cloud Expo here and now.
Oh, listen here. The 8th one is a perfect place to actually introduce this. So what we're doing actually is we have a new product that we call the API Portal that actually is an augmentation to Layer 7's Cloud Span Gateways. So you probably know Layer 7 already is one of the leading developers of gateways that actually sit either at the perimeter of your network or out in the cloud that actually guard access to APIs. Now that API can be anything you want. It can be a web service using SOAP, for instance, and XML, or it could be something like a RESTful service that actually transfers JSON back and forth. This is the kind of thing that we've been doing for many years, but Jeremy, I'll tell you, and there's a very interesting change starting to take place. Whereas before, what we found is that organizations, and regardless of whether they have services in the cloud or services at home, in their data centers, in the past, what they used to do is they used to actually publish these out to business partners or people they had a very strong, solid relationship with. The sea change that's actually occurred over the last 2 years, and it's in no small part due to the rise of mobile devices and all of the work that Mr. Jobs and his friend at Apple and the Android guys at Google have done with mobile. There's been a tremendous rise to actually starting to move out and make these APIs available to mobile devices and other developers. And now think about that. These developers are people that you may not have a strong relationship with as an organization. It's not like they have a strong business relationship with signed contracts or anything like that. In fact, they're actually fairly fickle, and they're people that you want to actually draw in and get access to. So what we've done with the API portal is basically built the portal to actually capture those people's interest. It actually documents your APIs, it engages the developers, it allows them to sign on, it provisions them, it manages them through their life cycle, and it gives them a community, a place to actually share information, whether it's through blogs, whether it's through, let's say, wikis, or even a forum to actually ask questions about your APIs. So it's about changing the dynamics of APIs to go from people you have a strong relationship with to people you have a looser relationship with, who may come and go, but who nonetheless are tremendously valuable to your organization today.
And trusted, presumably. That's the premise of all of this.
That's exactly it. You see, in the past, it was very easy to set up a strong trust relationship with a business partner. You'd get in, you'd sign contracts, there was formalization to it, there was ceremony to it. There's a lot less of that in the API world. Think about Google. Look, all of you out there probably have Google accounts. How hard was it to sign on? It really wasn't. It took 5 minutes. Actually, it didn't take 5 minutes. It took 30 seconds probably. And all of a sudden, you're a member of, the Google network, and you can get access to specialized APIs. You can get access to Gmail. You can get access to Google Docs and things like that. All of us use these things on a daily basis probably. But when you think about it, I don't work for Google. There wasn't a lot of ceremony in that. But there is a level, as you point out, of trust. And so you need to manage that. If I suddenly go rogue, Google's going to shut me down very, very quickly. But they need the tools to do that. What I'm trying to do at Layer 7 is give you, the enterprise, the tools to build up that community, just as Google builds up a community for itself. Build up that community, maintain it, understand the trust relationships with, and bring the hammer down if you have to.
Every time I catch up with Layer 7 and you, Scott, I'm always reminded one of the things that the cloud is doing is fomenting business innovation. And you seem to be almost prime example of that. Is there something about this particular moment in time, cloud-wise I'm thinking, that makes innovation? It's like we've gone back to basics. It's lovely. All these companies doing exciting things all the time, not even just occasionally. Is that because of the cloud?
I think it's absolutely because of the cloud. And the reason is that this is a very interesting time in that essentially we've been knocked down 2 years ago with the economy and that got a lot of people ended up losing their jobs, and you know what? They started startups. They went out and said, this is my opportunity, I'm going to do it. And you get this, in bad times, you get this tremendous creative sort of ferment that really is starting now to show the results. The people who went out 2 years ago and started to, work away in their basement are now coming out with real products. And I think what the cloud has done is it's given the opportunity for those people to actually have the infrastructure that normally they wouldn't have been able to get access to. And not only that, they're able to collaborate with a wide variety of different organizations. So I think two things are happening. The cloud is giving us the opportunity to do things, but it's also bringing us together, which is kind of ironic because when you think about it, the cloud is this amorphous thing. We're not really sure where it is. Sometimes we're not even sure how to define it yet. But the truth is, it in a lot of ways is this thing that gives us the tools that unites us, that allows us to start to come together and build new apps. And that kind of creativity, regardless of where it is I think what's very exciting. Think about New York. The beautiful thing about New York is there's tremendous density of creative people here. When I was walking here over the High Line and just thinking, what other city would do something like that? It has this amazing collection of highly innovative people that take risks and build something just brilliantly innovative like the High Line, which is a fantastic walk through New York between all these buildings that used to be a rail bed, and now it's just beautiful gardens and the weather's wonderful and there's children playing and people walking together and couples hand in hand. It's just a fabulous thing. I think, that kind of thing comes about because of risk-taking, because of a density of creative, innovative people, and the opportunity to actually make change and do things that are innovative and different. I think the cloud is just like that, but it's not a city, it's the whole world. It actually creates that creative community and ties us all together. And, one of the people working on your project, may be based in Bangalore, one of them may be based in London, one of them may be based in Shanghai, but the fact is, all of a sudden, there's this creative ferment and something wonderful comes out about it. That's the true promise of cloud.
So if you have not yet experienced your cloud epiphany, then you have to rewind this video, see it again, see what it's done to Scott Morrison, and make sure that you get involved in the cloud. I mean, that's the real bottom line of this, isn't it? If you're not going cloudwards, and if you're not seeing this API portal, we didn't give them a URL, Scott.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that up. www.layer7.com. And again, my name is Scott Morrison, and if you happen to be actually here today, I'm going to be talking at 3:15, talk called Who Am I in the Cloud? Talking about identity management and access in the cloud.
There you are. Thank you again, Scott, for joining us, and thank you for following this out there on the World Wide Web.